Question. Has any of the guards allegedly killed Robert Brooks? Have they been fired by the department yet?
There have been a number of them that have resigned. We do have arbitration hearings that are scheduled in accordance with the collective bargaining agreements, but they've all been suspended and we are seeking their termination, similar to in this case as well.
And you talked about changing the culture before, but I spoke with several correctional officers who've been through, they've all been through the department's academy. And they say that in the academy, they're actually trained to hate inmates. Is that true? And what's your response to that?
No, I don't find that to be the case. I've reviewed the curriculum, and actually, as of recently, I've had a formerly incarcerated person address the academy class to show what success looks like and the impact that they have on people's lives. Oftentimes it's forgotten the work of corrections and the important impact it has on the continuum of public safety. But if we do our job right and they go back to society, we avoid future victimization, future crimes, and they become tax-paying citizens giving back to their communities and playing important roles.
G.A. Fitzpatrick, I was here for the last press conference for Brooks.
Yeah, me too.
And I asked you a question about whether you thought that Brooks's alleged murder was indicative of a systemic problem in the Department of Corrections, and you said no. And now here we are 2 months later with another murder, alleged murder, indicted by you across the street from Marcy, and I just heard you say that in response to a question from one of my colleagues that the cover-up in the diner, it was what he said was this is just how we do it, and you said that was problematic for you. So let me ask you again: do you see a systemic problem with rogue prison guards in the system based on your investigations?
I don't think any rational prosecutor could stand in front of you for the second time in 6 weeks talking about cases that have remarkable similarities and say to you that everything is fine. Okay? People in law enforcement justifiably have a tendency to defend themselves. Wrongful convictions. Oh, we never get it wrong. We never prosecute the wrong guy. And yet historically we know that there have been hundreds of people who have been misidentified, had evidence planted against them, and so forth and so on. Is that a systemic problem nationally amongst prosecutors? I would suggest to you that it's not, based on the amount of prosecutions that occur and the number of wrongful convictions that are discovered. I would also say to you that it is a problem, and there is a problem. I think the commissioner addressed that in his remarks, and I don't mean to presume that I'm now, 3 months into this, an expert on correctional facilities. I'm not. I don't pretend to be. But I do have some thoughts and ideas that I'm not going to share with everybody now that I'd like to share with Dan and the governor at some point in the future.
Bill, to follow up to something you said before about additional resources. So since Brooks's alleged murder, I think the governor said she committed additional millions to the department to upgrade the security features. How many internal OSI investigators have been hired since Brooks' death?
We're actually out actively recruiting and expanding OSI. We've reconfigured a new division for the Public Integrity Division, merging our internal investigations and our sex crimes unit into public integrity, and we've posted over 100 jobs, which we received over 600 resumes, and we're actively interviewing for those individuals. And these are people that are external to the department.